Hi everyone, welcome to another video on Seiya LoJ Justice. Now in today's video, I'm gonna talk about a problem that a lot of you guys are gonna face in story mode in this game, and that is every now and then when you try to attempt to the next stage in story mode, you're gonna face an annoying text which is gonna pop up saying that you can only challenge the level after you reach a certain power. This is going to be very annoying because it's always going to be higher than whatever power you have, hence why you're blocked by that level. And normally the most natural way people try to power up your character is just simply wait for you to collect enough resources so that you can actually level up your characters. But this takes a long time, to be honest. Right now, take me as an example, it normally takes me about 2 or 3 days to even power up my character by 1 level, and a lot of time I need to level up my character by 5 or 6 level before even attempting the stage. So that normally means I have to sit around and wait for like a few weeks, sometimes even months, to even try the next stage in story mode, and that's going to be very painful and also very slow process. So in today's video, I'm going to give you guys a couple of tips on how to maximize your team power so that you're always pushing your boundary and always kind of reaching to the furthest stage you physically can in your story mode. And remember, the further you reach in your story mode, the more resources you're going to get per minute. So over long term, the further you push, the more easier it is for you to level up character, then the easier and quicker you're then able to get to the next stage in story mode. I just have that bit of snowball effect, so it's actually very important for you to do this today. Just try to optimize your team power as high as you can so that you always try and push to the last stage possible to you. Alright, so before getting into all of those tricks and tips, let me just first talk about exactly what is this power made up of, right? So the power is quite simply the total power of your 5 characters plus any team power. Now, by team power, I don't mean things like Sage Mark, which give you additional benefit to your whole team. So right now, for example, you can see I have a total team power of 37614. If I actually take off my Sage Mark, then you realize my power level dropped a lot immediately. I already lost like 3 million power level just because I didn't equip my Sage Mark. So that's always going to be the first thing you want to do. The second thing you also want to realize is that different Sage Marks is going to give you different bonus and therefore give you different boosts to your power level. So for example, if I use this one, right now my total power is 37546. However, if I change to this, now it's 37614. So once again, immediately I'll have a tiny bit of boost in my power level. Now you may be questioning yourself like which Sage Mark is going to give you the highest power. That is actually going to be dependent on your characters, because the way Sage Mark work is that if you actually go and click onto them, what you're going to see is that they give you stats bonus to different type of character have different type of bonus. So for example, this one is going to give me all of my protector units 4% increase in defense, right? Whereas if I pick a different Sage Mark, for example, this one is now instead going to give all my protector 4% increase in HP instead of 4% increase in defense. So there's a very subtle change in the stats you're going to give, and depending on exactly who are your 5 characters on your team, different Sage Mark is going to apply different effects to you, and therefore maybe for me personally, this one is going to be the one give me the strongest boost in my team power. But maybe for you guys, because you guys use 5 different other characters, this one may be actually working out better for you. So this is just something you are going to have to try yourself. Luckily, there are only a handful of Sage Marks, so it's very easy for you to try this to see which one gives you guys the highest power. Okay, now if we actually take off Sage Mark or any kind of team bonus, what you're then left with is just simply the addition of your 5 characters' individual power. So once again, if I take a simple illustration, I can start off with the Seiya LoJ, which have a power level of 6821. So remember this number, 6,821,000. If I then take a look at my Seiya LoJ individual power, what you realize is exact same number, it's 68214 as well. So it's the exact same number, and that's kind of why when you actually go into a team, it's just literally simply the addition of your 5 characters' individual power level. So this is already a very useful thing for you to know, because a lot of time what you may be tempted to do in your story mode is you want to play your best team, right? Your best team have the highest chance of beating that stage. So for example, if it's up to me, I may play something like this. This, for example, is arguably my strongest team. If I actually play those 5 characters because they're my strongest in PvP, for example, what you see is I have power level of 36.7 million. However, if I actually just simply change it to my strongest character rather than my strongest team, so know the difference. This may be my strongest team, but it's not the 5 strongest character. So now instead, if I, for example, get rid of my Suiko and also my Iki and change it to 2 tank units, my power level jumped to 37614 rather than before, which was 367. So already you can see once again I got about like a 1 million increase in my power level just because I have used stronger characters instead of trying to go for like a good team synergy, for example. So this is a very important aspect for you guys. So don't focus too much on who is your strongest team in PvE. That a lot of time is not going to be the team that gives you the highest power level. So instead, just put your 5 strongest character. And from my experience, normally when you have enough power to try the stage, you normally tend to be able to beat it already. So this normally is going to be much more essential for you to have a higher power level rather than a better team. So this is always going to be something you want to try. Now, that naturally move on to how do you decide who are your 5 strongest individual characters. It's also quite simple. What you need to do is simply remove all of your equipment on them. For example, all of your R-Shiki. You can keep your accessory because they're not going to change. But you want to remove all of your R-Shiki from your character so everyone's on even ground. And then naturally, when you open up your box, your inventory, they would already be sorted in descending order from the character with the highest power level. So what you can simply do now is just take a look at who are your first 5 characters in your box. Those will be the 5 characters with the strongest individual power, and therefore those would be the 5 characters that you want to use. Now, the next step is now you just want to maximize the most you can on those 5 characters. So by that, what I mean is that you want to equip your R-Shiki, for example, and you also want to increase any other additional benefit. For example, you can increase your clothes to give them a few extra power level, maybe merge some of your constellation. For example, on my Seiya clothes, I have a few extra dupes in constellation. That once again is going to give me a tiny bit of boost in my power level. But the main one you also want to do is just increase the level of your power of fate. Because what you realize is that, yes, a lot of time when you actually look at the linkage effect on your power of fate, those require all of the characters to be played together. But the stats bonus, those can be activated regardless whether you have the characters on the same team. So I'll show you a simple example by picking a character who I don't have power fate on, for example. So let's take Niobe, right? Niobe right now have a power level of 5. Niobe have a power level of 5.575. So 5575. Remember this first 4 digit, 5575. Now if I actually go into my power level, let's just increase it by quite a bit, in fact. So I just increase it from like level 1 to level 9. And now if I take a look at power level, it immediately jumped. Before it was 5.5 something, now it's 5.6 something. So you can already see, once again, I have increased my power level by 100k, by 100,000, just because I have leveled up some of my power fate. And I'm not even playing those characters together. I'm just simply leveling up for the stats bonus. And you can already see there's a bit of increase in my power level. So once you have decided who are your 5 characters that you want to use in your team for PvE, always just go through all of their power fate and just level them out to as high as you can. Because they will, every little bit helps once you are trying to fit in your 5 strongest character in order to have the highest total power level. Okay, so that's something you also want to do, the power of fate. Okay, now here comes to the most important tip, which is you want to optimize your R-Shiki. Alright, you do not just want to play the R-Shiki, which is normally the best for that character. Instead, you want to play the R-Shiki, which is going to give you the highest power boost. Now, I'm going to illustrate this again by giving a simple example. Let's take Hugo Got Close, okay? Right now, I don't have any R-Shiki, and you can see my power level is 6831378. Let's just take a look at, so it's 6.831, okay? Let's just remember the first 4 numbers again. So it's 6831. If I actually take a look and just equip a single R-Shiki, what you can see already is I'm gonna get quite a big jump, right? It was 6.8 something before. Now it's already 7 million. So I already increased it by 200,000 just by equipping one R-Shiki card. But now let's go and equip what I normally play on my Hyuga God Clothes. Hyuga God Clothes, normally you want him to be as fast as possible so that he can release his R-Shiki really quickly. So what I would normally play would be something like this. What else would I play? I'll probably play this as well, also increase my attacking speed, right? For example, this is normally going to be what I will play for my Hyuga God Clothes. Let's take an example. And you can see my power level right now is going to be 7.47 million or 7469. Let's just remember the first four number again. So this is going to be normally the setup for R-Shiki for my Hyuga God Clothes if I'm to play like a PvP match, for example. But this is not going to be the 5 R-Shiki card, which is going to give me the highest boost in terms of power level. Because what you will realize, for example, is that if I exchange this card for anything else, I'm going to get a medium power boost. Because what this card gives me is attacking speed, dodge, and crit damage. And none of them really contribute to your power. So once again, let's take a simple example. Right now, this power level for my Hyuga is 7.469. Okay, 7469. If I take it off, what's the power level? 7466. So that single card, even though it's level 40, only gave me 3000 extra power, which is tiny. Whereas instead, if I equip it with this card, it's a white card, it's only at level 20 rather than level 40. What you can see immediately is the power level is now actually 7523. So this card, even though it's much lower level and lower rarity than this card, which is at level 40, and this one's only level 20, is a huge difference in terms of the power. So do not just always go equipping your characters with the what you think is the highest level of R-Shiki or the highest rarity of R-Shiki, because those do not necessarily mean those are the best cards or the card that will give the highest level or the highest power to your character. So once again, I can show you another example, right? This card right now, 7523, if I have this level 20 white card on. If I equip this with another one, which is this one, is a gold card, much higher rarity, level 40 as well, right? What's the power level? Back down to 747. So once again, you can already see this card does not give any extra power either, because the stats this card is able to give is crit, is hit. None of them really contribute to power. The stats you really want contributing to power is going to be the most basic stat. It's the ones which says attack. It's the ones that are going to say defense. It's the ones that are going to say HP. Ignore anything which says speed or crit. None of them is going to give you much power level. So do not just go blindly equipping the R-Shiki card, which may be the best for your character. Actually take a look at the stats they're going to give and equip the one that's going to give the most stats benefit. And that's actually going to help your character have a much higher individual power level. Okay. Then the next thing you have to remember is that different characters naturally have different strengths in terms of their stats, okay? So let me take off all of those characters again, and I'll give you a simple example. Let me take off all of them, okay? I'm going to equip two characters on with... I'm just going to put two characters in my team, okay? I'm just going to put Hyuga God Clothes and Athena God Clothes on my team. What you see here is that right now, my total power level is 14859, right? None of my two characters have any R-Shiki on. If I put an R-Shiki on my Hyuga God Clothes, the one I normally play, which is this one, right? This one is a really good one for Hyuga God Clothes because it increased speed. And already seen before because it also increased HP. This card is going to give me a better power level. So now what you can see is that my power level have jumped to 14966, okay? So it's 14966 if I have my R-Shiki card on Hyuga God Clothes. However, remember what I said before, okay? You normally equip a card onto the character because of their stats. I already talked about crit and crit damage. doesn't actually contribute much to your power level. The one that really contributes is going to be your HP boost. However, if you actually think about my two characters, I have Hyuga, who is more like a damage dealing character, and also a Seiya LoJ, who is actually more defensive unit. Defensive unit naturally have higher HP stats and defense stats than a HP focused unit. So instead of equipping this card, who mainly gonna contribute to my power level because of this HP boost, rather than equipping it on my Hyuga LoJ, I am probably going to be better off by putting it on my Seiya LoJ instead. And we can test this theory, okay? Because right now, you can see the two of them together have a power level of 14966, 14966. If I change my R-Shiki card onto my Seiya LoJ, so remember this one that is right now on Hyuga LoJ, if I put it on Seiya LoJ, let's take a look at team power now. It's now have exceeded to 15015, right? Remember before it didn't even hit 15 minutes. Now it's more than 15 minutes. And this is just a simple change of the same R-Shiki card. It's still equipped on my team, but just change from one character onto a different character, and immediately you can already see another about 100k increase in my power level. And once again, that's going to be very, very important for you guys in order to really optimize the R-Shiki card so that you always have the highest ones on your character, the ones that give you the highest boost on your character. So normally the way you want to do it's quite simple, to be honest. For any damage dealing characters, you kind of want to use most damage dealing R-Shiki card. So for example, here I already preset my card. This is the one I have with my Seiya LoJ, and what you can see here is all of the ones that give my attack boost, attack boost, attack boost, attack boost, attack boost. All of them give increase in my attack stats, which is the strongest stat for my Seiya LoJ, and therefore those are the best ones for him. Whereas for my Seiya LoJ, I tend to give it more defensive based stats, the ones that will increase defense, increase HP, increase HP, increase defense, increase HP, etc. So you want to put your most defensive cards on your tanks, on your support unit, etc. And by doing all of this, just fine tuning all of your characters, what you're going to see is a much stronger results on your characters. For example, I already set up my team of 5. And what you can see here is that I don't know whether you remember before, but before my power level without any R-Shiki card equipped, it was about like 338 million or something around that. But now if I actually put my 5 stronger, you can see it already jumped up to 40.6 million. And that's both a combination of the fact I put R-Shiki cards, which actually contribute to my power. So for example, I didn't equip any card which are giving like attack stats. For example, a few of the ones which are really bad, even though they're really high level, for example, would be this one. Only give crit and hits that contribute nothing to your power level. This one going to give you attack speed and dodge. None of those really contribute to your power level. Whereas if you actually just focus on the normal attack, HP, defense ones, you're going to give a much stronger boost to your team. And like I said, always fine tune your cards to your characters so that they give the best stats. Like you can also see from the cards, right? This is always going to be scaling off on your stats. So for example, this one always going to give you an extra almost 8% on your attack stats. So why don't you put it on a character with higher attack stats to make the most out of it? Do you not worry about kind of like R-Shiki synergy? For example, those two cards, this card which give bleed and this card which give poison. Normally you will never play those two cards together because only one of them can take effect. But once again, I'm not playing those cards so that they actually work in battle. I'm playing those cards just because they have a higher stats bonus, and that's all you need in order to have a much higher total team power. So that's a very important thing for you to bear in mind, is that you just kind of want to equip the best card available on your character, which maximize the stats, their best stats. Okay, so that's what you want to do. Now that's kind of the bulk of what you want to increase your power on, but there's one extra tiny bit you can go even further, which is that the artifact you have on your character. You can also fine tune them a bit more in order to increase your power level. So right now, for example, you can see I already have my R-Shiki card. I'm not going to change them. Right now it's at 40.6 million total power. However, if I take a look at some of the artifacts I have, what you realize is that, for example, the support unit one, what you have is something like this. It gives me attack boost and haste and healing. Healing and haste doesn't really contribute too much to a team power. And yes, whilst attack boosts do contribute to team power, I am putting this on a support unit who don't normally have much higher attack stats. So actually, my support unit may be better off onto an artifact that will increase my HP or increase my defense. And likewise, for example, you can see here, I have my Athena God Clothes on this one, which increase my HP and defense. However, this only increased my HP by 12%, this increased my defense by 9%, whereas I also have this artifact, which is only for protector units. But if I take a look at here, it will give my HP by 22%. Now, obviously, you don't actually know whether 12% HP plus 9% defense works compared against 22% HP, but why don't we just try it out, right? So, for example, right now, what you can see is my total power level is 40.6 million. If I just do a simple swap of the artifact on my Athena God Clothes and put my Athena God Clothes here instead, what you then see is that my total power should change from before. Okay, it's a very tiny change, but there's a change. So for example, right now it's 40669. Okay, remember the last three numbers 669. Whereas before, if I didn't have it, it was where's the thing now? So it was 40669 and now it dropped back down to 623. So you only got about like 40k extra power level. But sometimes that's enough for you to overcome the threshold, right? So this is something you have to pay attention to. Always try to fine tune your artifact to give the highest possible stats to them. And the obvious one I'm actually going to show you is more the one on support unit. So once again, I already talked about the rationale, which is that this one, even though this one is actually a level 5, right? This is already maxed out. This is level 5, rank 5. But this one, the stats it gives is a healing haste, which doesn't contribute to power level, and also attack boost, which is not the highest stats for a support unit. So instead, if I actually equip it onto something like Golden Shield, which right now is only rank 4, so it's a lower level. However, it's going to give me HP and defense boost, which is much more suitable than the one available for Sean God Clothes for the support only artifact. So now if I actually swap my Sean God Clothes from the support only one onto Golden Shield, what you should see is the total power level have just changed, right? Before it was 406 something. Now it already changed to 407 something. So already once again increased my power level by 100k. So once again, pay attention to artifact. They may not give you the biggest change, as big change as R-Shiki may do, but it's still going to help every little bit. So just pay attention to all of the artifacts you have on all of your characters. Do they also tend to maximize the highest or the strongest stats that your character currently have? Because you always want to do it in ways such that the artifact on your attack unit should maximize their attack, whereas the artifact on your defense unit and on your support unit should be focusing on their defense and HP stats rather than attack stats, etc.